for that dog shit pick. What the fuck were we thinking? What the fuck were you thinking?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Jimnasium. As always, it is me, XFL Jim. And I am joined by the man himself. He is back. It is Chase, Lupine Fiasco Sessoms, a.k.a. the Wolf of Oaklaw. I felt like doubling up on that one today.
It always makes me so happy when I see it, too.
I can't wait till I get to smash another table.
I can't wait till you film it in slow motion.
Chase, I'll get angles. I'll get it above it. Next time I do it, I'm gonna get angles on angles on angles. But today we are not here to talk about table smashing. We are here to talk football. Opening weekend of the NFL, and more importantly, a crazy week 2 of college football.
Insane week of college football. It worked out in some people's favor. It did not work out in other people's favor. But I guess that's just how football goes. It's an egg-shaped ball, and it bounces weird.
It does. The ball of feet bounces very weird. Chase, we're going to start this show like we will start many shows this season, up until probably the playoff rankings come out. We'll still take a look at the AP. Who fucking cares? We're breaking down the AP top 25. So me and Chase have done a very good job of not seeing anything from the AP top 25 until right now, where we're unveiling it for you, the viewer/listener. Chase, receiving votes. 1 vote for TCU.
Okay. That's a writer in Fort Worth.
Interesting, yeah. I will admit, I have watched maybe 5 total minutes of TCU this season when they played Stanford, and that is it.
Yeah.
Receiving 1 vote, the University of Central Florida.
Quiet, but I think that they're going to be – I think they will finish the season in the top 25. In fact, I think I gave them a chance to win the Big 12 this year.
Receiving 2 votes, also in the Big 12, BYU.
Good for them.
They've looked good. They've actually looked pretty good. They've been looking pretty good. Receiving 3 votes. I wish they were in. It's the Cal Golden Bears.
God, they deserve to be in. They deserve to be in after going and winning on the Plains.
Yeah, I mean, Peyton Thorne did throw 5 interceptions. We'll get to that whole game in a little bit, but
No. Peyton Thorne didn't throw 5 interceptions. Cal forced Peyton Thorne.
You're damn right.
To throw 5 interceptions.
You're damn right. 7 votes for North Carolina.
Okay.
And the energy vampire soul sucker that is Mac Brown.
That is
also tied with 7 votes. I also think this team should be ranked. They're having a great season so far. UNLV, 7 votes.
Could they sneakily end up being the group of 5 team that ends up in the playoff?
The Mountain West probably comes down to them and Boise. Fresno is also in the mix for that. We could kick Wyoming out of that conversation. We were wrong about Wyoming.
Way wrong about Wyoming.
But they could. I think they might have a couple losses sort of sprinkled in that might kick them out of it, but you can't count them out.
No, not at all.
9 votes for Wisconsin.
Ugh.
I mean, they haven't looked great. Well, I mean, we'll see. They got Alabama coming up.
Yeah, that might take care of this whole them getting votes thing, depending on what Alabama does to them.
Hey, if they do something against Alabama, then they deserve it. So,
yeah.
Either way, it'll take care of itself. Also receiving 9 votes, Libibity.
Gross.
Yeah, I mean, they've been... They're talking about a shit schedule.
Yeah, they don't play anybody.
Nobody. South Carolina receiving 10.
They deserve all those votes after that victory.
Fair. Also, remember, they did almost lose to ODU, though.
Yeah, but ODU, that's what they, they almost lost to a much tougher team than who they played on Saturday. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry, but up next is an SEC team who I think should be ranked, receiving 18 votes. The Vanderbilt Commodores.
I feel like
Vanderbilt.
Anytime you're multiple weeks into the season and Vanderbilt is undefeated, then it's time to rank Vanderbilt.
They don't get that spotlight too often. Give it to them.
Give it to them. Let them have it.
I legitimately think that they might go bowling this year.
It's a wild world that we're living in, Jim.
Dropping out of the top 25 after being there for a week, Kansas receiving 22 votes.
Who'd they lose to?
They lost to Illinois.
They got Burton.
They got Burted. I called that shit.
You called the Burtoning there?
I called the Burtoning.
I called it a down year for Kansas. I think that might be shaking out for me here.
Yeah, they didn't look great. Also falling out of the top 25, our darling, receiving 24 votes, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, they kind of deserve it, though. They'll have to play the way back into it. That was a tough loss against the. They
had it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, in El Asico, as you call it.
They fucking had it, and we're still seeing. Well, again, we'll get to the full game breakdown in a little bit, but damn. Receiving 27 votes, the Washington Huskies. Also a quiet season. I feel like no one's talking about Washington.
Yeah, they need to have a win to hang their hat on before they get into the top 25, though.
With 38 votes, the Memphis Tigers. Talk about a team that's going to maybe try and vie for a playoff spot. Because now that FSU game that they're going to be playing seems a lot more winnable.
Seems very gettable at this point.
Rank, okay. 63 votes. Syracuse.
Rank Syracuse.
Rank Syracuse.
Syracuse looked electric on Saturday. Kyle McCord has maybe just found where he needs to be in life, and that's in the Carrier Dome.
I might look up today what the odds are for Syracuse to win the ACC. Am I getting ahead of myself? Yes. Do I care? No, I'm living life in the moment. Which is what you should do when you're ranking these, by the way, too.
Yep.
Behind 68 votes for Texas A&M is criminal.
That is criminal. Absolutely unforgivable. Unforgivable.
No. Boise State 77. Boise State should be ranked.
Boise State should be ranked. They look like they're a dangerous team.
One loss, fair. It's okay. They look like the best group of 5 team, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, they have that running back. As long as he stays healthy, as long as that running back stays healthy, then I think they're able to make a splash. But I'm not ready to just bow down and say that they definitely win the Mountain West, though. I think the Mountain West is a lot more competitive.
I think it's a 3-team race.
Yeah, and I mean, anything can happen with the 3-team race. Wonky shit happens in 3-horse races, so you got to think that wonky shit happens in 3-team races.
Dude, we were so wrong on Wyoming.
Yeah, dude, they look bad.
And the last team receiving votes, 101, Illinois.
Okay.
So week 1, they look pretty good. They beat Kansas. I think if they have a strong showing this week, if both Illinois and Nebraska are undefeated after this week, maybe a ranked versus ranked match. We might both be ranked. I don't know if, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cracking the top 25. Your darlings and mine out there, everybody. The Northern Illinois Huskies. NIU.
Let's go.
Get them in there.
Yeah, get low with it. Get loose with it. If you're a skinny girl, let Bruce hit it. And it turns out that Notre Dame was that skinny girl.
Damn right they were. They got blasted. I think NIU might be the highest rated G5 right now.
They are. They have to be.
So if NIU goes undefeated and wins the MAC, NIU to the playoffs.
They got a signature win over what was a top 5 team.
They did. There's
on the road.
Okay. I know everyone on their mother, Notre Dame shouldn't be in the playoffs. How absolutely hilarious would it be if Like, somehow. They wouldn't work out ranking-wise. But Notre Dame has to go to Northern Illinois for their first playoff game.
That's must-see TV. Like, I would cancel anything that I had scheduled and make sure that I was watching that game.
Would we go to that game? Would we try and go to that game?
Why not, man? Yeah.
That would be on campus. Oh, my God, dude. That'd be the best game of the season. I don't care. Script writers for the college football season, let me know. Damn right, Jeff. NIU Maction, bitches. At 24, Boston College Eagles.
Respect Boston College. They look good. They look real good.
ACC looking fucking feisty.
They look a lot better than they looked last season. That's for certain.
Way better. Chase at 23. It's been a long time coming. It's my Nebraska fucking Cornhuskers in the top 25. Let's go.
Clap it up for the Cornhuskers.
Oh, it's been a while.
Good for you. They've looked dominant in their 2 wins doing it. Like it's fitting that they cracked the top 25, and I think that this isn't as high as they can go. Like I don't think that I will fade them this week because it's a team just cracking the top 25 because that's just like an angle that we use. But
the last 3 teams we talked about, Nebraska, Boston College, and NIU, I will be fading against the spread 100% this week. 100%. We did. It worked great for Georgia Tech. It worked great for Kansas. I will be fading all 3 of these teams ATS.
That's a good call.
I have, by the way, I have talked to myself into Nebraska being undefeated when we go to Ohio State and get.
Oh my God. I don't know if I'd be able to like deal with you if that happens.
Well, so I went through the schedule. Our toughest games are Illinois and Rutgers.
Oh wow.
Both losable because both those teams look good.
Yeah,
but I don't.
It doesn't have the sting of like
Penn
Michigan,
State,
Penn State,
Oregon,
all those teams in the Big Ten. So I think it's possible. It could be possible, and I think you will be insufferable, and I am here for it.
I will be, and then I will be devastated after that Ohio State game.
Yeah, you will
probably. At 22, okay? Jesus Christ. At 22, it's the Clemson Tigers.
Kick them out.
I get it. They blasted App State.
So
I
what?
get it.
So what? Kick them out.
They shouldn't. Put Illinois in there. Syracuse.
It's not like they lost a close game to Georgia. You know what I mean?
They weren't ever in that game.
Blasted by Georgia. Never in the game.
Dude, if Clemson goes if they go on an 8-game winning streak now, we got to make sure we will beat the drum. Never forget that game. Clemson doesn't belong right now.
No, they don't.
I still believe that Clemson can win the ACC, by the way. I have that ticket. I do not care. The ACC is gettable. But I don't think it's a wild conference. Anything can happen.
That's true.
At 21, the Iowa State Cyclones.
Cracking the top 25, right?
Yep. They're cracking the top. Dude, defense is good. The offense, honestly, against a team like Iowa, looked pretty productive.
Yeah, like you can't count out what they did against Iowa because that Iowa defense is legit. And I'm not sure if we're giving them that Iowa defense too much credit because of how legit they were last year, but I feel like they're still pretty legit.
I feel like even if they're not as good as they were last year, which is very possible and probable, I still think this is a top 15, potentially top 10 unit in the country. They're
on
just
defense,
on defense, yeah,
totally.
Yeah, this is a good win for Iowa State. At number 20, Arizona. In a scrappy game with Northern Arizona last week.
Right. They've got that freak receiver. That guy's going to turn some heads.
What the fuck is his name?
Tiafolo something.
Tetaroa McMillan.
Tetaroa McMillan. That's what it is.
At number 19, it is your Louisville Cardinals.
This is probably my favorite future bet that I have is Louisville to win the ACC. So just let them keep climbing up. They've quietly been just mollywomping the teams that they play against.
Yeah, they haven't really played anybody of note yet, but they have been doing what you're supposed to do.
Which is beat them handily.
Yes, domination. At number 18, still in the top 25 and still in the top 20, Notre Dame, dropping 13 spots.
How much value do you put into that Texas A&M win, and how much negative value do you put into that NIU loss?
I put little value on Texas A&M because Texas A&M's offense is garbage.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame, like, their offense wasn't anything to, like, crazy to speak of. And having, I watched that NIU game. Getting, not being able to do anything offensively against, NIU's great. We love NIU.
Yeah.
A team of Notre Dame's talent not being able to do anything offensively against a MAC team is unexcusable.
Yeah, do they just need to get into just power running the ball? Is that what they need to do? Because it doesn't seem like the passing game is really working with Riley Leonard for them.
Just run the option. Why not? Right?
Yeah, give it a shot.
This cements the Marshall loss as the worst loss of Marcus Freeman's career so far. And it's only been 3 years.
Yeah, he might not be long for this.
This, I don't think he gets fired this year, obviously. Unless they, absolutely collapse. I think if he doesn't make, this will be what people look back on when they're just like, yeah, he was never really going to make it at Notre Dame.
Right.
This is probably the moment. Get them out of the top 25. Never mind. They're still 17. It's Michigan.
They're not. They're a team without a quarterback. How do you have a team without a quarterback ranked?
I don't know. Their defense, Texas, made it look easy to beat, but I don't know how many teams on Michigan's schedule can do that.
Go down the list of every other team that we've mentioned in the top 25, and all of them have a quarterback that they can say they have a dude, right?
Yep.
Except for Michigan.
Michigan does not have a quarterback.
If you're not willing to kick them out of the top 25, at least kick them out of the top 20.
They're almost top. Yeah, they only dropped 7 spots. They'll have another loss. They'll lose to USC or somebody. They'll have another loss that'll kick them out.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know how soon. I don't know what their exact schedule is, but maybe soon.
And then Jim Harbaugh will retire from the Los Angeles Chargers and be like, "Daddy's home. Daddy's here to fix this."
I think he would fix it too. At 16, LSU. Bounce back spot? Whatever.
Yes. I mean, USC looks really good, and it wasn't like they got. I'm like you. I'm like you of the mindset that at this point in the year, why do you have anybody who has a loss on their resume in the top 25, especially in the top 20?
Yes. They probably are a top 25, top 20 team.
But they need to earn their way back in.
Exactly. And there's plenty of more deserving teams. Syracuse, teams that are undefeated right now that would be fun to have in the spotlight. The rankings don't matter. So just play with them. Have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Other than saying that, I guess the reason they are here and jumped from 18 to 16, obviously Michigan, Notre Dame lose. And their loss looks better and better each week. LSU's loss. Losing to USC doesn't look nearly as bad now.
USC came out firing on all cylinders. They look like a way better football team than we expected them to be. So I think it's a better loss, but I don't really. I feel like I'm making a case for something that I'm morally opposed to. It's how do you feel about How do you feel about segregation? It'd be like, you're making me make an argument for segregation. I don't want to do that.
I feel like we should only be talking about the quality losses when it's week like 8 or 9 or later.
Right.
When you're trying to compare to like a 7-2 team to an 8-1 team.
Right.
That's when the losses like matter. Who don't do this in week 2.
No.
At number 15, Oklahoma, no change.
Yeah, keep them there.
They scrape by. Like, don't have a close game like that with this Houston team.
Right.
Don't do that. At 14, it's K-State. Scrappy.
After they scrape by a scrappy Tulane team.
Yeah, Tulane is weird. I don't know if anyone who would want to go into Tulane. Like, that's a...
That little cracker box of a stadium is tough to play in, though. It only holds like 30,000 people, I think.
It's just weird vibes.
You put a bunch of drunk Cajuns in one place, though, dude, and calamity happens. Like, the state of Louisiana should just be like the shape of a big open mouth, because those dudes can talk some shit.
That they can. Good for K-State. Avery Johnson needs to look a little bit better, but this team is still solid. At 13, Oklahoma State jumping 3 spots.
I think they deserve, even though we gave that game away, they deserve it because of the comeback win.
And I don't think Arkansas is a bad team. I think that's a legit win.
I think you beat what is probably going to be a bowl team. Not like a flashy bowl team, but a bowl team.
A meat and potatoes bowl team.
Yeah.
I like it. Good win for Oklahoma State. They do need to figure out how to have a better performance out of this offense when Ollie Gordon can't get going.
Yeah, because it took a lot of finagling for them to figure out how to get anything out of Ollie Gordon in that game. Like, he was shut down running against an 8-man front, and you got to think that they're going to see 8-man fronts the entire season.
You got to think that. Like, you got to beg Oklahoma State to pass the ball, which is not something, if you would have told me this like 5-6 years ago, that you're just begging Oklahoma State to pass the ball, I was like, oh, they're like one of the best teams in the country? Is that?
Mind blown.
At number 12, it is Utah dropping a spot.
I hate it when teams win and drop spots.
It's because, okay, we don't know the situation. At some point in this game, a Baylor player did knock in to Cam Rising, potentially injuring his hand.
Cam Rising, officially questionable.
2 days ago, though, Utah believes Rising's hand injury not serious. Let me see what I'm reading an article right now on on Kyle Whittingham's thoughts. He was slow to get up. He went to the locker room. I don't know. I hope he's okay. That would be the only thing I could think of as why Utah would drop a spot.
Yeah, just the speculation that someone might be injured.
Specifically Cam Rising.
Right.
Like, we saw this team last year without him.
And it was ugly.
It was ugly. At number 11, USC.
I think they're pretty good. I think they've got just talent at the skill positions. Like, I think USC might be kind of loaded this season.
I think it's crazy what firing somebody can do. Alex Grinch, getting him out of town has made this a team that can tackle and has a defensive identity. We already know Lincoln can coach offense, so this team is legit. USC, watch out, everybody.
Yeah, they could make a splash in the Big Ten.
They could, and they look like they looked better in their 2 games than the 2 Big Ten teams that are right ahead of them. But before that, number 10, Miami.
I mean, they've looked good so far.
They look good. Haven't really, I mean, Florida wins still probably carrying them. I think right now you can't really keep Miami out of the top 10.
No.
At number 9, Oregon. They keep, like, Oregon, these close wins are going to come get them. They keep falling just a little bit.
I was going to say, like, I just said that I don't like it when teams win and then fall, but I think that Oregon has deserved to fall both times, so I have to kind of go back on that a little bit.
Boise State should have won that game.
Yeah, they should have. Idaho should have won that game.
Dude, Oregon, I don't know, dude. I don't know if Dylan Gabriel's the dude.
I think anybody it's like DJU, anyone who's been at like the starter at like 3 schools now is clinically not that dude.
I thought he looked good at Oklahoma.
If he was that good at Oklahoma, he'd still be at Oklahoma.
That's a fact. That's fair. At number 8, no change. Penn State. Weird game
Against Bowling Green.
The biggest thing was the defense, and to Penn State's and their defense's credit, they did like lock in the second half.
Yeah, they did.
But weird. Don't almost lose to Bowling Green.
Don't. It's unforgivable, really. But
like,
you had to kind of. It's the James Franklin era. We had to kind of expect something like this to happen, right?
And I even talked about it on Saturday. I was like, oh, I'll bet Penn State. They're going to dominate this game. I didn't, but I thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird game. If you're going to lose to a MAC school, NIU has less of a sting. Because they just they've done it before. Western Michigan maybe is like a team you'd be okay. Like, I'm just trying to think historically, MAC schools, I'm like, oh, they could upset somebody. Bowling Green's not on that list.
No, they're not.
At number 7, jumping 7 spots, it's Tennessee. This team. Holy shit, this team.
Yeah, man. Watch out for Tennessee. I think Tennessee is I think that they're the team that's going to challenge Georgia. Like, I think Georgia is actually going to have their hands full with Tennessee this year.
Dude, Tennessee's defense looks good. Their offense is on fire. They have a run game. Nico's a dude. He's a baller. Tennessee is a fucking wagon.
That'd be a sneaky good SEC future to go ahead and get in.
Chase, when I saw that picture of Fat Josh Heupel, I was in. I'm in.
That's true. That's true.
I'm all in on Tennessee here.
Give Josh Heupel a couple more cronuts, and you're all in.
At number 6, Missouri.
I think you put Tennessee above Missouri, right?
I think so too. Like, the NC State win is Missouri has played who? They played Buffalo this week, and they played nobody week 1.
Yeah,
I think you put Tennessee above.
I think you definitely.
And I like Missouri. I think Missouri's pretty good. I think you put Tennessee above Missouri.
You can't put that apple-faced goon Eli Drinkowitz in front of Josh Heupel.
I agree. I want Josh Heupel's jolly face in front of me all the time.
Yeah.
At number 5,
I kind of got Josh Heupel face going right now.
You're swollen though. He's permanently got Santa face. He's got like red cheeks too.
Yeah.
Cracking into the top 5, Ole Miss.
They're good. They're a wagon. They're going to score 1 million points a game. Like, it's just, they'll be there until they disappoint us, which is due to happen at some point against either Alabama or Georgia or someone else.
Let's find a week where Ole Miss will disappoint. Let's find the week. So let's look at Ole Miss's schedule.
LSU's a possible disappointment spot too.
You tell me. I'll go through their schedule. The Ole Miss disappointment. Wake Forest next week.
They win that by 1 million.
Georgia Southern.
They win that by 1 million.
Kentucky.
They win that by 3 million.
At South Carolina.
They win that by 1 million.
At LSU.
They disappoint.
So they disappoint Saturday, October 12th.
Yep. It's a rivalry game, a traditional SEC rivalry. I think that's where they let it go.
I like it. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Week 7. Be on the lookout.
God, they've got a dog shit schedule.
Dude, this schedule is you want to know
cake.
I guess South Carolina might be ranked when they play them if they keep winning. Probably not. LSU, Georgia, and maybe you can squeeze Oklahoma in there. And then, other than that, the only game I have for them that's like weirdly trappy is Arkansas, because you guys are in between Oklahoma and Georgia.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a 10. I think we talked about this whenever we did the preview. It's a 10-2 football team.
It's a 10-2 football team with a 10-2 schedule.
Yep.
At number 4, it's the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I can't say they should be higher. I can't say they should be lower. I think that's the perfect spot for them in the AP top 25.
Yeah, the score of last week, so they won 42-16. A little deceptive. That was a really close game for most of it.
Right.
At number 3, dropping a spot, Ohio State.
Have they looked spectacular so far?
Yeah. They looked so, maybe like the first half against Akron. Since then, just they're back on machine mode. 56-0 against Western Michigan that's what you want to see.
Pretty stout, yeah. After Western Michigan gave what feels like was a really good game to Wisconsin.
Yeah. That's what you want to see if you're Ohio State. And also what you want to see, Texas is number 2.
They deserve to be number 2. The way that they just walked into the big house and spanked that ass, that was a full-on ass spanking.
It was
like
disgusting.
It was utter domination, and I think that they are quite easily the second best football team in the country right now.
And that number 1 team is Chase. It's the Georgia Bulldogs. It's Georgia. I think Texas is really good. I think Georgia, Texas can beat Georgia. And there is no scenario I could see where Texas is favored against Georgia.
No, not at all. Texas, even at home, should be a little bit of a dog in that game.
Like a 1.5, 2-point dog.
Yeah, I was going to say 2.5, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Maybe a field goal.
I think until we see otherwise, Georgia is the best team in the country. I think a lot of these teams in the top 10, a few of them can challenge Georgia. I think Texas could beat them. I think Ohio State could beat them. Alabama, who knows? Ole Miss, probably not. We've seen it. Tennessee, maybe. Missouri somehow always plays them close.
Yeah.
Penn State, no. Oregon, no. And then 10, Miami, probably not. USC, interesting. Probably not, but interesting. But it's Georgia. It's still like Georgia, Texas. I think Ohio State's like kind of right there, and then it's a drop.
Yeah, it's a big drop off between. Well, put Bama in that group because Bama hasn't done anything to show that
don't let South Florida hang around like that. They were
okay
until the fourth quarter.
That's fair, but they still kind of ran away with it.
Fair. So let's go through some of these games, Chase. Speaking of a team that was getting votes, BYU beats SMU 18-15. Big 12
Good
versus
call,
ACC.
Buddy.
Boom! BYU, baby!
Buddy. Good call, buddy.
Penn State 34, Bowling Green 27. We talked about this one just a smidge.
The fuck?
Yeah, this is weird. The morning slate of games, aside from Texas, Michigan, wild. Wild day for college football. This was one of them. This was a game. Bowling Green, I believe, was leading at halftime. It was bizarre. Penn State's defense giving up like 300 yards to Bowling Green. Probably don't do that.
Don't do that. It's going to be interesting to see if they get kind of like a neck crack game next week and kind of just like right the ship, or if they continue to play with their food a little bit.
Let's see who they got on deck next week. Kent State. So probably a neck crack game because Kent State is like the worst team in college football.
If they perform like it's a neck crack game, then I think you could overlook the Bowling Green game going forward.
We're not going to really talk about the game, but Penn State gets a bye, and then it's Kent State.
Oof.
Yeah. Kent State, I just want to mention, they lost to St. Francis. That was St. Francis's first win against an FBS opponent.
That's tough. That's you hate to see it.
Can we sometimes this season see a Kent State versus Temple matchup?
Man. Like just as a like you're the two worst teams in the country, go at it sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would pay to watch it. Wouldn't you? Like
I would like to go to that game.
There's something fantastic about being at or watching a really bad football game. Like comically bad football.
Yes.
Like where they should be playing like the Benny, like they go for a punt and you hear just one.
And I I know we live in a world. I know we live in a world of like recruitment and players can choose where they want to go. I would want the winner of that terrible bad game. They get the best recruit in the country that year. Just whoever it is. Number one recruit overall on On3 or Rivals or 24/7. They get him. Just for the year. Then he could transfer after that year. But for the next year, they get the best recruit. He's got it. Boom.
Yeah. I like that. Can't read, can't write, can't play football.
that is good. Jeff coming in hot.
Coming in hot.
Texas 31, Michigan 12. What an dude, Chase talked about it earlier. You did. Michigan doesn't have a quarterback.
How can you be that level of a program and not have an immediate succession plan for a quarterback? That's my question.
It doesn't even need to be like, you don't need to have JJ.2. You need to have just a competent guy back there.
Game manager. That's all you need is a game manager. And they don't even have a game manager.
They have nobody.
Listen, I mean, you know me. I'm a huge Jim Harbaugh fan, but I got to say that this loss is squarely on him because he left the cupboard bare.
I feel like at this point, don't go. So, like, it's Williams for the most part, and then they trot out Alex Orji every once in a while. They're still trying to do this 2 quarterback thing.
Right.
Just pick one.
Just
whether it's Williams, whether it's Orji, or whether it's your like true freshman recruit. I don't care who. Pick one.
You know how people say they stand on business? I feel like this is how we stand on business, is that we hate 2 quarterback systems.
I hate it so much.
It's the worst. It's the goddamn worst.
Just pick one, Michigan, and stick with it. I don't care. They'll improve just from that alone. Pitt 28, Cincinnati 27. I just wanted to mention this game was disgusting. Go Pitt, I guess.
Yeah.
Kansas State 34, Tulane 27. Banger game goes into almost overtime.
It was a scoop and score.
Scoop and score that made the difference. I think I will say Tulane kind of got boned at the end ref wise, but I still think K-State was slightly the better team.
I think so too, but it's just even post Willie Fritz era, like, you can't sleep on this Tulane team at all because they're staying competitive and going to give you a game. And if you have to go and play at Tulane, you better have your P's and Q's in order. Mind them, P's and Q's.
Oklahoma State 39, Arkansas 31.
Hate to see it, Jim. Hate to see it. I said out loud to myself at halftime, we're going to lose this football game. And you know what? I was right. We certainly did. It just had that feeling of like it was a shaky lead that we had, even though we looked fantastic. And we did look fantastic. We looked really good for a very good portion of that game, offensively and defensively. But just got to sustain greatness, and we didn't do it.
This was one of the, from both teams, sloppiest fourth quarters I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was a slop fest of just every kind of thing you could imagine. Like bad play, bad penalties, bad clock management for both teams.
Bad turnovers.
Like both teams trying to give the game away. And eventually, Oklahoma State just comes away with the win. It was weird.
Yeah. In that overtime, whenever we missed that first field goal, I was like, I have a feeling we're probably boned here. And somehow their kid missed the field goal too, but
crazy.
my take, this is what's going to happen. We're going to get way up on teams, and then we're going to lose the game. Like that's kind of the Bobby Petrino MO, I think.
I might see what we got going next week with Arkansas. I might be betting Arkansas first quarter money lines a lot.
It might not be a bad idea, Jim. I think they're going to start hot.
I might start a little experiment here for the garage. Syracuse 31, Georgia Tech 28. This is where like Colby Dance thing about the not having preseason rankings comes into things, because Georgia Tech had a top 10 win, gets them in the top 20. Sorry, top 25. Then that gives Syracuse a top 25 win.
25 win, right? And so now,
do we know how good Georgia Tech was. I think from the eye test, I feel like we do. I think Kyle McCord is legit for Syracuse. I think the Orange are fun. I think they are legitimate. Rank them. I don't rank them.
I'm with you. I think you even said it. I think that they have a puncher's chance of winning the ACC, just as almost every team in the ACC has what feels like a puncher's chance of winning the ACC.
Crazily, the only teams I feel like have zero chance to win the ACC are Virginia Tech, Florida State, and Duke. And Virginia.
Virginia, yeah.
Yeah, the Virginia schools, Florida State, and Duke.
Florida State could somehow end up turning it around. They're so talented that they got to think they have to, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. You hung your hat on DJU, who's been a starter at 3 schools.
One of them in your conference. Like, they didn't want him.
Yeah.
We see who Clemson has out there right now, and they didn't want him.
Yeah. If Cade Klubnik was the better option, things are bad.
Iowa State 20, Iowa 19. For those of you who week 1 thought Iowa's offense had turned over a new leaf, you were wrong.
Yeah, it took not playing Illinois State to make that abundantly clear.
So some people are saying, Chase, and I don't know if we're those people, but some people are saying that with Kirk Ferentz out last week.
Are you telling me that Streets is talking, Jim?
Streets is talking, Chase. That now that Kirk Ferentz came back for this game, immediately abandoned any notion of a high-powered offense.
Just they automatically just roll over and show their soft belly when it comes to that. Like, it's just like, no, just offense is dead. You win. Defense, it's all, we surrender everything to the defense now.
And I'm gonna say it. I think we both think Iowa's a good team.
Yeah.
The issue with the way Iowa has been playing for, I don't know, like, I'm not going to go say their offense has always been bad, because, like, 2019, their offense was legitimately pretty darn good. And they were
when they had, like, Beathard and stuff.
Yeah,
like
this
were
was a
decent offense.
Really good team. For the last, 3 years or so, especially, the way Iowa plays football is they're walking a very thin tightrope. You're relying on super low scores, which, if a team can have one explosive play, they're back in it. And it's tough. It's you kind of have to have a top 5 defense year in and year out. And Iowa has a top 15, top 10 defense consistently. But you walk such a fine line, you get games like this, where Iowa State was kind of always in it. But I don't know. That's just the way they play.
Let's see. And now the Iowa under is 13-2 over its last 15 games.
Did not hear. It went over, yeah.
Yeah, I know it went over. So they were 13-1. Now they're 13-2.
Mm-hmm.
Man, hate to see such a reliable thing go down.
We'll see how next week goes. I don't know if we can consistently be betting Iowa unders though, like we have been, 100%.
I'm starting to feel like it's dicey. It was a lock every single game last year.
Idaho 17, Wyoming 13.
Idaho's good.
Idaho is legitimately a top 10, maybe even top 5 FCS school this year.
Wyoming is legitimately ain't it.
Wyoming is really bad. We were just wrong.
We're wrong. They ain't it.
This might be the wrongest we've been on a team this season.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
I think we all had we sprinkled on Wyoming to win the Mountain West, and that's
the second year in a row, I might add.
Off the table.
Yeah, it's
all the way off the table. Washington 30, Eastern Michigan 9. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't think any directional Mich won this week. Maybe Central. No, none of them did.
No.
Michigan State 27, Maryland 24. September, Maryland goes down.
Who would have thunk it, man? We've seen just September dominance for how many years? I don't know how many years now, but yeah, that's it's hard to believe. Good win for Uncle Rico and the boys.
Aiden Childs looked really good in this one. I think Michigan State is feisty. That's where I want to put Michigan State in the feisty category.
Okay, they're in the feisty tier of the Big Ten.
They're in the feisty tier of the Big. They might get up and bite somebody. South Carolina 31, Kentucky 6. I don't. What has happened to Kentucky's offensive line? This team has nothing.
Well, Jim, they've never had one. If we're being fair,
this team stinks.
What can I say? What can I say? But it's just nature running its course.
If you lose to Vanderbilt, we're talking about. Sorry, if you lose to South Carolina, this South Carolina team, who I would just say this is not a good South Carolina team. The way things are, this is week 2. Call it an overreaction if you want. Right now, out of 2 weeks, Kentucky is the worst team in the SEC. I think Chase froze with excitement on that one. His internet went out. Oh, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. This Kentucky team though needs to figure something out. They need to sort themselves. Some might say Florida, but I disagree. They need to unfuck themselves and figure out what the hell they have going on. Utah 23, Baylor 12. The only thing I want to talk about this one is if I pray for everyone who likes watching good football that Cam Rising is okay. Because he is so fun to watch. He looks amazing when he's on the field. I hope his injury is not that serious. I'm rooting for my boy, Cam Rising. Wisconsin 27, South Dakota 13. Wisconsin has just looked fucky. They've looked weird in all these games. I don't know. I don't know about this Badgers team. I don't know about the offense they're trotting out there. I don't know if I trust the Wisconsin Badgers. I don't know if I trust them. Northern Illinois 16. Oh, wait. He's back. I said your internet went out from all the joy you were experiencing when I called Kentucky the worst team in the SEC.
It's like you said that, and I started touching my nipples, and then the internet went out. It's amazing. Yeah. Was I frozen with my face lit up whenever you said that?
You were very smiley.
Oh, yeah.
It was a very happy look.
Yeah. Say it again slower.
The Kentucky Wildcats might be the worst team in the SEC. Yes. I'm not saying definitively because Mississippi State still exists.
Yes.
Do they play Mississippi State this year?
I don't know. I hope not. I hope it's nothing but a murderer's row of teams.
Let me actually. Chase? You want to go through their schedule real quick?
Let's hear it.
Okay, let's go Kentucky's schedule. Real quick to play the schedule game. Who do you think they have next week?
Georgia.
Yeah, it is the Georgia Bulldogs. Ohio. It's at home. Ohio, probably a win.
That's probably an L. Yeah.
Okay, that Vanderbilt game is going to be big for Kentucky not going over. Okay, so they're winnable SEC games. Vanderbilt at Florida and Auburn. They get them all right in a row. They got to win one of them.
Are we sure?
No, if they don't want to be the worst team in the SEC, they got to win one.
Okay.
Oh, I do, Jeff. Same. I'm just rooting for Vandy, though. I don't have the hate in my heart for Kentucky that Chase does.
I have so much hate in my tiny little hateful heart. It's amazing.
Oh, God. Speaking of which, Cal 21, Auburn 14.
Just pour it over me. Pour it over me like warm butterscotch.
My Cal Golden Bears marched in and beat this fucking Auburn team on the field. They should have beat them last year, too.
They should have beat them last year. It was funny. We were talking about this game before, and you were like, Well, Peyton Thorne threw five interceptions. It's like, no. Cal forced Peyton Thorne to throw 5 interceptions.
I will also just say, we've talked about it. Peyton Thorne's another guy. We know we have known what Peyton Thorne is. The fact that you haven't gotten anyone else is criminal.
Pretty much. It's I don't like why he isn't still at Michigan State?
Yeah.
Why he isn't still like riding the bench at Michigan State is beyond me. Like why do so many people take chances on what they know is dog shit?
I don't know, man. We've just known, and he's not good.
No.
Like, I don't even know if he's make the UFL good.
That would be a stretch.
As like a backup. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. NIU 16, Notre Dame 14.
That's a sweet win for NIU. Sweet win.
The MAC's first win over a top 5 team.
That's amazing. That's so great.
It feels so good.
I'm so happy that it was Bruce who did it too.
I'm so happy that it was NIU. I think NIU was the last. No, they weren't. I was going to say they were the last MAC team to make like a New Year's Six bowl, but I think that Western Michigan team that Fleck had was more recent.
Was after them? Yeah, I think you're right.
Go NIU. Catapult in the top 25. They're ahead now in the G5 to make the playoffs. I hope they do.
I hope they do too. They just have to not fuck up now.
It's really hard not to fuck up in the MAC.
It's really hard. Yeah,
it's really hard to not fuck up in the MAC.
It's a tall order, but that's what it's going to take. You just have to not fuck up.
Weird shit happens on a Wednesday night in November.
Yeah, it does.
North Carolina 38, Charlotte 20. The fact that Charlotte scored 20 on this team just looks worse for Minnesota.
Yeah, it does. Oh, God. If they had a decent place kicker, then that game would have gone the other way. That's neither here nor there.
You want to talk about another group of 5 team who's vying for a playoff spot? Texas State 49, UTSA 10. Domination!
Texas State's going to win the Sun Belt, dude.
Beat their fucking ass!
Yeah,
Texas State is... You know what? Texas State's a wagon.
Texas State they are a wagon. They continue to be a wagon. They were a wagon last year. They're a wagon this year.
God, they're good. FIU 52, Central Michigan 16. Sad day for Directional Mich.
Very sad day. I was on on Central Mich in the points, and that did not bode well for me.
No, Uncle Rico was on FIU in that one, and he was correct. Ohio 27, South Alabama 20. You know what, though? Your boy, you get a team coming up to play at Ohio, going up north to play in the MAC. Weird shit happens.
Got you on the right side of that one?
I felt good. That one felt good. Illinois 23, Kansas 17, classic Burtoning. That's
classic
Burtoning there. Alabama 42, USF 16. I just want to take this one aside to say, like, USF was in this game till like 8 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. This was a very, very close game and scary for Alabama. And then just kind of the floodgates opened.
Yeah.
Kind of like last year a little bit.
Except the floodgates didn't actually open last year. Like,
yeah, true.
That was still a pretty close game, but they did play in like a hurricane.
I think this shows our faith, or I don't remember the AAC preview. I had faith in USF is not unfounded.
I don't think it's unfounded at all. I think they're a decent football team. I think they're pretty well coached.
I think so too. Arkansas State 28, Tulsa 24. Just wanted to mention this one. Probably, like, Tulsa's not good. Arkansas State, again, it's week 2. This team doesn't really activate till like week 4. So
yeah,
keep an eye.
Still 2-0. Still 2-0 Arkansas State, who I believe we had that were our dark horses to win the Sun Belt.
I think I still have them to win the West. I think I still have a little ticket on them to win the West. So it'll be between them and Texas State. That'll be a big one.
Yeah, that's going to be. Do they play? They play each other in the.
I think they have.
Season?
Yeah, because they do
the
divisions.
Division.
Yeah, that's the only conference that's still doing divisions.
Yep.
ULM 32, UAB 6. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, dude. Dude.
ULM's winning football games? What the hell's going on in this world?
I think Trent Dilfer is sleeping on the couch.
Yeah. Yeah, him.
That's
and his
what I
ugly
think's
wife.
happening. That's what I think's happening. What else do I have on here? Vanderbilt dominated. Tennessee 51, NC State 10. Talk about domination. Disgusting display.
That's supposed to be a good game, and NC State has NC State really looked good yet?
No, and specifically, like the transfer of Grayson McCall hasn't really been working out for him. He's not good at the downfield passing thing.
No, he's more of like a run with it kind of quarterback, isn't he?
And yes, I think he works in tandem with someone like Jamie Chadwell when they were both at Coastal.
Yeah,
it's not working here.
Makes sense. Yeah, it doesn't. We lost Jim. Well, while he's not here, I guess we'll figure out what else we're talking about. There he is. He's back.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I clicked a button on accident, but we're good. Yeah. Jeff, did I miss Colorado? Are they out of the top 25? Never were there. Speaking of which, Nebraska 28, Colorado 10. And honestly, it wasn't even that close.
How many times did you guys hit Shedeur Sanders?
5 sacks. A couple other... dude. They had 16 total rushing yards. Colorado is... So remember the preseason, remember the Big 12 preview? This was like the team that we really couldn't get a wrap around. Just because they brought in 40... They lost 40 players, bring in 40 players. We thought, in some levels, they improved. Like, I do think along the defensive line that they improved. I think they have good individual players.
Right.
Their worst unit on the team last year was the offensive line.
And
the worst unit this year is the offensive line.
It's you think that you would address some of these needs in the portals, but I guess
did.
It's still like, yeah, but apparently they didn't though. You know,
I don't think offensive line is something you can portal. I think the big thing with offensive line is cohesion and development. You need like high school recruits in the off. You can portal a receiver. You can portal a running back. You can even portal a quarterback. And defense is fine. But offensive line, you need this unit to be together.
I don't know. I mean, I think Arkansas has done a decent job portaling their offensive line.
Yeah, but did you portal your entire offensive line?
I think we portaled a good bit of it.
Oh, well, then maybe. But it's just, I feel more often than not, it's the hardest position to use the transfer portal for.
That's fair. There's also just a scarcity of like 300-pound dudes who are big and athletic and can run like deer.
Facts. I think you need to develop them.
That's true.
This is the same Colorado team that we saw last year. They have weapons at wide receiver. Shedeur, if the offensive line gives him time, is really good. Their defense, I think their defense might be a little better than last year. Little bit. I think their defensive front improved, but their backfield got worse, if that makes any sense. Like, I think Travis Hunter's still really good.
Yeah.
But I think overall their defensive backfield got worse. Nebraska, for the most part, did whatever the hell they wanted.
Yeah. That's how it looked whenever I was watching. That literally, if they wanted to run, they ran. If they wanted to pass, they threw the ball.
And I will say this: the second half, my Nebraska Cornhuskers did something I hate a lot in teams, where you get very conservative and play not to lose, and it's just run until you punt,
right,
and just drain the clock. I hate watching that. And I don't like seeing it because we could have won by like 40-some. And also, for both teams, in the second half especially, the refs turned to like dog shit. Weird holding calls, targeting on both teams. Weird,
yeah.
Weirdly bad. Also, Colt McCoy, his broadcasting debut did not go well.
He's like a dead fish. in that booth, man.
He's
just
not good.
No, he's not.
Dead fish is a good way to describe. He was nervous too. You could tell he was like very nervous.
Yeah, I think so. It's just not the guy.
He was like the shy kid at the talent show.
Shy Ronnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't felt this good about Nebraska in I don't know how long. We're dominating games. And I'm saying I'm ready to get hurt. I am ready to get hurt again.
Hurt me. Hurt me, mistress.
Hurt me, please, because now I have hope. I have hope. I'm past hoping for a bowl game. Now I'm expecting a bowl game. I'm hoping for like I'm gonna shoot for the moon. I'm hoping for a 10-2 season.
I think if you go 10-2, you make the playoff. I'll be honest with you.
Chase, do you know how? So we probably wouldn't host a playoff game for 10-2.
No, probably not.
I wonder where we play. We'd be like? We'd probably be like 11 or 12 in that scenario. So probably playing at like the 5 or 6 spot.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let me look back at the AP Top 25. We were playing at like number 5 was Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah.
That'd be an interesting game.
Would be.
Ohio State 56, Western Michigan 0. I just had to touch on every directional miss. This is if you're Ohio State, this is what you want to see.
Yep.
What you don't want to see, Oklahoma 16, Houston 12.
That's tough.
It's tough. It's not a good Houston team.
Not a good look.
Oklahoma, where's this offense? What the fuck, guys?
It's one thing you always could count on Oklahoma having.
Barely winning this game on your defense's back is against Houston. Gross.
It's troubling to say the least.
Clemson 66, App State 20.
Yeah, they thumped App State, but you know what? They're supposed to thump App State. I'm not going to give them their flowers for doing something that they were supposed to do. I still think that they're a 7-5, 8-4 kind of football team.
Potential neck crack game. I guess a team I at least thought was going to be really good in App State.
App State just didn't show up to play against the big boys like they always do.
They really didn't, and you hate to see it, but I don't know. I think Clemson will be a team I want to watch next week. Like I think Clemson can compete with a lot of the teams on their schedule. They cannot compete with the teams like Georgia, probably Texas. Like they will not compete against those teams.
No.
I still think Clemson can compete with a lot of the teams in the ACC and still have a shot here.
I think a lot of the teams in the ACC can compete with a lot of teams in the ACC.
I think the ACC might be the most interesting conference race.
Fair.
Oregon 37, Boise State 34. Boise State should have won this game.
Another game where Oregon just barely escapes.
Barely, and Genty is like a monster.
Yeah, he is.
This guy is a monster.
The truth running the ball.
God, I love him so much. Also, this game was on Peacock, and fuck that.
Yeah, I'm never watching anything that's exclusively on Peacock, ever.
Libibity 30, New Mexico State 24. New Mexico State's not great this year.
No. It gives me hope that we don't see Libibity in the playoff.
I don't think we will. I think if like a Boise or a Memphis or even a Texas State only have one loss and Liberty is undefeated.
You think they're still ranked higher? They do have a garbage schedule.
They have such a garbage schedule. Can we just pray that NIU goes undefeated?
I think it's very. I like that we're praying that NIU goes undefeated so that Liberty doesn't make the.
I want to see the first I want to see the first G5 in the 12-team playoff, a MAC school, because everyone wrote off the MAC this year.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if it's us praying for against Liberty, and there's a lot more people praying for Liberty.
That's
like
fair.
I feel like we're pretty well canceled out, bud.
Damn it. And then Arizona State 30, Mississippi State 23. Wasn't even really that close. Don't let Arizona State, who's not a great team, whoop your ass, Mississippi State.
I didn't think that Mississippi State had much of a hope because once again, it's a team going west and crossing the Rockies, dude.
Facts. We call this every time.
Yep.
Chase, since we like college more than the NFL, we'll breeze through the NFL. I want one word from each of us, or one like little blurb from each of us on each NFL game. Thursday, Kansas City 27, Baltimore Ravens 20.
Heartbreaker.
Offensive line bad for the Ravens.
Very bad for the Ravens. Yeah, I've got I was on the Derrick Henry over 65 yards prop. That was not a wise decision by me.
Philadelphia Eagles 34, Packers 29.
Devastating.
Time for Malik, baby.
I had, was it Jaden, what's his name? For the Packers. Walker?
Yeah, I think so.
I had him on my bench for a 33-point game, and then Love gets hurt. So you got to think that like it's going to be a while until I can play him again.
That's rough. Steelers 18, Falcons 10.
My words for this are kick and wing. It was a kick and wing of a game.
Yeah, it was gross. But
just a disgusting display.
The Steelers will drag you down to their level. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Bills 34, Cardinals 28.
Banger.
Kick return touchdown.
Glad to see it. I hope that I have no problem with the kick as it is right now. I hope that it grows on other people though.
Chase, I think we're kind of XFL. We're used to it. We're used to it.
Yeah.
Bears 24, Titans 17. The one word I had circled here was how.
Special teams.
How do you lose this game?
Special teams. And Will Levis just doing dumb stuff.
Yeah. Patriots 16, Bengals 10.
How Jamar Chase hasn't hasn't had his his contract redone by today is mind-boggling to me because their offense couldn't do anything. You got to think it's like a million times better with Jamar Chase there.
T. Higgins wasn't there either.
Got to redo this. Got to get them paid. Like, go ahead and pay them so that you're because you got Kansas City coming up.
You got nothing right now. You can't lose to the Patriots. And
no.
Ramondre Stevenson looked good, but can't. No. Texans 29, Colts 27. Fun. This one was fun.
My word for this is freak. That throw from Anthony Richardson was freaking.
That was so good.
That was just a guided missile. That was amazing to watch.
I don't think Anthony Richardson can consistently be like a top quarterback in the league. I think he can have
shit like that.
I think he can have top number one quarterback in the league moments.
I think you're right. I think he'll do some stuff that is electric to watch. And that throw was hands down. I think that was the play of week 1.
Agreed. Dolphins 20, Jaguars 17. Yeah, thank you. Because I think Jags are going to be pretty decent this year. Good win for Miami. It's very funny Tyreek Hill got apprehended by police before the game.
Have you seen the body cam footage?
Yeah.
God damn.
Dude, his agent comes out of nowhere.
Drew Rosenhaus? Yeah.
Yeah, he appears.
Yeah, dude. Call Drew. And Drew manifested.
Your New Orleans Saints 47, Carolina Panthers 10. Oh my God.
So good. It was another case of I left somebody on the bench too with Rashid Shaheed. Man, I think we might be pretty good this year. I know it was the lowly Carolina Panthers. I know Bryce Young isn't the dude.
He's not, and we fully know he's not. And they're gonna be vying for the number 1 draft pick and probably go for a quarterback.
Yeah, I think so. And it's still, you gotta take pleasure in kicking the shit out of other teams, because shit kickings like that in the NFL just don't come up that often.
Very rare. I might sprinkle a little bit on the Saints for the division. I don't know. I think it's between them, and I still think it's between them and Tampa Bay. Everyone was hyping up the Falcons this year, and I heard some people hyping up the fucking Panthers. I think it still runs through New Orleans and Tampa.
I think you're probably right.
And yeah, what quarterback do you think the Panthers? It'd be very funny if they get a quarterback this year. They get like Shedeur.
It would make sense. That would be such a fucking Panthers move.
I
They
don't
get
know.
Shedeur and they get Dion to coach.
Yeah. Vikings 28, Giants 6. Talk about a team who, like, this is the other team I think might be the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, they'll be drafting a quarterback, that's for certain.
Why did they pay Danny Dimes?
I really don't know, dude. I really don't know.
What have we seen from him to ever think he warranted getting paid?
He had that one playoff run where he won a playoff game.
And also, like, you can't make Sam Darnold look this good.
No.
I'm sorry, like, you can't be doing that.
No, that's unforgivable is what that is.
Chargers 22, Raiders 10.
Great, I guess. Okay.
This is a classic. This is like classic Jim Harbaugh.
Just,
and also, fuck you, Raiders and Antonio Pierce. You were like on the opponent's like 40-some yard line with a 1 yard to go, 4th down, and you punt it. Pussy.
just go, dude. Especially like they were down 2 scores too, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Just go for it, dude.
Seahawks 26, Broncos 20.
Bo Nix didn't look bad at all.
He did not.
He threw 2 picks, but he still completed a lot of passes and ran for a touchdown.
Somehow the Broncos lose this game with getting 2 safeties. I don't know how many times that's happened.
I don't know.
I don't know how many. I don't know how many times that's happened ever.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't look bad, but also maybe don't have your rookie quarterback who is Bo Nix throw as many times as they had him throw.
It's true. I think he's going to be just fine, though, quite honestly.
Yeah, we might have been wrong on Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Bucks 37, Commanders 20. I think Jaden Daniels looked good. I think
Jaden Daniels looked really good, too. I think that... I don't think that you can write off the Commanders from just like jumping up and biting a few teams this year.
Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be in that feisty category.
Agree.
And it's very hilarious to me to see Baker Mayfield ball out, and then we have the next game, Cowboys 33, Browns 17. Deshaun Watson looks awful.
Well, they can't protect him is the first thing. Like he was running for his life the entire thing, but like even when he had a clean pocket, he couldn't make a fucking pass to save his life.
And did you see like clips of when he was on the like his players were on the ground? One of his guys was on the ground. He went to go like help him up, and the guy shoved his hand away.
Oh, that's amazing.
One more week of this. I already heard it this week online. The streets be talking. Mm-hmm. People are calling for Jameis.
I might be on the bandwagon if they pull in Jameis.
You want to talk about a guy who has the locker room? Jameis fucking Winston is cucking Deshaun Watson in the locker room right now.
He's a poet, is what he is. He's a goddamn life poet.
God, dude, I might be fully in on the Browns if they just start Jameis.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're gonna get, but you do know that the people are gonna play for him, and it's gonna be wild.
And you know he can throw the deep ball. Like that's something he can at least do.
Yeah, for
Not
sure.
always to your team, but like it.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, he throw ball a long way.
And Lions 26, Rams 20 in overtime.
Just a banger of a game.
Great game, back and forth, very fun.
Back and forth, great crowd in Detroit.
Hope Nakua's okay.
He's on the IR. He's on an injured reserve, so he's going to be gone for an extended period.
Damn. This is a situation where I had a player on the bench, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp.
How many targets? Bench. How many targets did he end up with?
Cooper Kupp. Let me see. Not good. Let me look it up real quick.
He had like 21 targets.
Let me see in this game. 21 targets.
21 targets. He had 21 targets in that game.
14 receptions on 21 targets for 110 yards.
Jesus Christ.
And a touchdown.
Christ almighty.
The other thing I would like to mention, that for the Lions, David Montgomery is a fucking dude.
He's a beast. They got such a good tandem with him and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah. Run David Montgomery more.
That's all they did in the overtime.
Yeah, and it worked because they wore this defense the fuck down.
Yeah, they did.
What's the score of the Monday night game right now?
26-7. San Francisco is beating the Jets.
I think I'm going to go ahead and say that the 49ers probably win.
I think they probably win this game, Jim.
Yep. So, good on us. Crazy week 2 of college football and a very fun opening week of the NFL, I think.
I think so, too.
CFL, by the way, for those of you who wonder, I had the CFL recap on online today. Go check it out. The CFL Week 14 was also crazy. Very fun game, very fun week. It's coming. There's 7 weeks left of the CFL. And then we're in the postseason.
God bless it.
It's a great time to be a football fan. I'll say that.
Yep.
Any other thing, Chase, you would like to hit before we get out of here?
Nothing much. Just zip it up and zip it out.
That is Chase, Lupine Fiasco Sessoms, a.k.a. the Wolf of Oaklawn. Go follow him at of Oaklawn. I'm XFL Jim. Follow me at XFL Jim everywhere. We love you guys. Give us a like. Give us a follow. It does help. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time for another episode of the Jimnasium.